I didn't think social media could get any worse, but it did. And that too in a way that I didn't predict, and I can't even believe it's actually happening. So the other day, I was scrolling through Instagram, just going through posts, because as much as I say I'm going to reduce my social media time, I'm incapable because it's addictive, it's destructive. But I came across something that was so appalled by and so shocked by that I couldn't even believe that it was real. And I think the reason is because I didn't think the problem could ever get this bad. But honestly, I should have suspected it because it is an attention economy and people are still fighting for us to spend even more time on our phones, even though we already spend so much. And it was these weird AI chatbots, these suggested AI characters that we could apparently now chat with and talk to, just to have normal conversations. It was characters that I could chat with, characters that other creators had made somehow. I think there's a way that we can log on to Instagram and kind of make this character, and then I could have a whole conversation with this person. And it was so shocking, not only because someone had thought this was a good idea for society, but also because when I clicked on these characters, each of them seemed to have a certain niche or a certain topic that they wanted to talk about. Like, they would say hi, and then there would be like these little bubbles suggesting what we should ask them. And one of them was really into astrology or like Hindu religious kind of things, and the other one was like trying to suggest how I can become a content creator, and the third one was just straight up asking me like to ask personal questions like, oh, like what are you struggling with right now, what's on your mind right now. And I had the terrifying thought that these questions based on my Instagram feed, but then I thought that they probably presume that the people who kind of click on these chatbots have certain conversations that they want to have, and they're weirdly of this personal nature, even though I think we all kind of know that AI can't possibly help with such problems. But each time I was scared to reply. First of all, I was like, I don't want to get involved, but then I did just to try it out. And each time I would write something, it would egg me on to just ask more and more personal questions, more and more, oh, like what past event haunts you still, like. And then the astrology one in specific would tell me to chant certain incantations, very priest like. And I'm sure it's like based on some data model, but I just think it's so unnecessary. And also, I tried to Google what these are and who has these charts. Like, can anyone access these charts? For example, these characters are made by a creator. Can the creator access these charts? And there's little to no information. Like, at least on mainstream media, I couldn't find that much information. Instagram kind of said, oh, you can like transfer your likeliness onto this AI character so that your fans of these influencers can chat with you. And that was the idea behind it. But do those creators then have access to my chats with this AI? And what is it based on? What are the limits? Are there any safety regulations for these? Because it just seems very strange. And the fact that I couldn't find any information on this was also shocking. The face of the AI would be of a girl, most probably, or at least all the recommendations I got were of girls, and just like very like sort of these friendly faces, very like city kind of girls. But when I clicked on creator, it was invariably a male creator, like probably with like 11 or 12K followers, something like that. And I just don't understand. This male creator made this female AI character who is now being recommended to me, and I'm being recommended to talk to this AI about my personal problems. And I have no idea if that conversation is accessible to this other creator that I don't know, I don't follow, and I basically have no association with. So this is just very concerning to me. I think it's very telling because obviously we're living in a loneliness epidemic. Like, there are countless videos and articles about this, about how our generation is struggling to make actual human connections, is struggling to maintain friendships, is struggling to have these kind of emotional conversations with each other, and therefore we are relying on these overtly parasocial, overtly online relationships with influencers sometimes, with OnlyFans creators sometimes, and now obviously with AI. And people are also developing these AI models to essentially be your friend, as if that's going to solve our loneliness, which I don't think is. I think that's the exact opposite of what people need. And it's just astounding of how people think that this could be good for society, or maybe they don't care if it's good or bad for society. It's important to note that if I kind of Google about AI friends, then the Google Gemini chatbot kind of talks about the potential benefits of having these AI friends. I mean, they do give a disclaimer that it's kind of fake, but they do talk about how it could help combat loneliness, how um, how it could improve your mental well-being, and you can practice your communication skills on this. And they do talk about drawbacks, and I guess I have to give it to them for that. But I just think it's kind of strange how people are kind of writing about how this could be beneficial when I don't think that's going to happen. This over reliance on technology for every aspect of our lives. I mean, at some point we have to draw the line. With ChatGPT, everyone started like writing all posts, everything from ChatGPT, and people are acting as if this is okay and this is a fair use of technology. And it's like, we're not using our brains anymore. This is the result of brain rot, where it's like anything we see online, we're just putting out there. And I just think at some point we need to bring back actual friendly interactions with our friends. Even this whole trend I remember of ChatGPT, you had to ask ChatGPT, oh, like, what are a few things that you know about me that I don't know? And everyone was like, oh my god, ChatGPT knows so much about me, and everyone was so shocked by these answers. Everyone was so excited. But I bet that if you asked a friend, if you asked a family member, they would probably also give you an equally interesting answer. You don't have to ask AI, you can ask your friends. And that to me is like a real genuine answer. AI, like, you're just trusting this simulation, you're trusting this data that it's collected from the questions that you've asked it. It's like trusting an influencer's life and saying that is how they're living, that is how I should be living, when they're only posting when they're happy, they're only posting what they want to show you. So why are you asking AI questions that you can go and have a conversation with your friends about? Why should I ask AI? Why should I tell AI, this is what is happening in my life? Please give me suggestions. Please give me some way of escaping it, when I can just go and talk to my friends about it. It's just going to make the loneliness worse, because at some level, we all accept and we know that this is not a real connection. And that's the problem with parasocial relationships. That's the problem with people's over reliance on online relationships, that they know it's fake. And that's what's making their loneliness worse. And I guess my point of this video is just to be like, we have to get a hold of this. We need to get our shit together and kind of understand that they're playing us. All they want us to do is spend more time on Instagram. They want us to be on our phones chatting away on these AI bots. Maybe because nobody's chatting with each other anymore. That's why they're like, oh, chat with these made up people. And we need to break away from this cycle. Like, yes, all these conglomerates are bad for manipulating us in this way and making us stay online. But at some point, can't we, like, ourselves take responsibility and say, no, but I'm going to spend less time on Instagram. No matter what tricks they try to play, I'm going to try and just not use this app as much. I'm going to delete it from my phone and only use it on my laptop or something like that. Like, take some responsibility. And I think that's the only way out of this hellish kind of cycle. I don't think we're going to be able to fix our addiction to technology unless we as an individual take responsibility for it.